use our WATER acronym for finding nonfiction. So let me go through them real quick, and then I'll explain each of them. So the W in WATER is wide variety. So I think when we think nonfiction, automatically we think, oh, we'll read a story about an animal. And that's a great place to start. And there are lots of wonderful nonfiction books about animals. But there's other topics. There's space. There's learning about different cultures. So think wide variety and don't just pigeonhole yourself into maybe reading about animals. A is accuracy. This is a huge one for nonfiction. I know that some of us, if we are new teachers, we may have inherited a classroom library from a teacher who has retired. And with that probably comes some outdated books with some misinformation. So the first thing that comes to mind is maybe you have a book about the presidents, but it was written in the 1970s, so it doesn't go past Jimmy Carter. Or you might have a book about space, but it still has Pluto as the 9th planet. Another really tricky place that I see that we're not finding books that are accurate, maybe because we picked them up at a yard sale, or like I said, we inherited them from a teacher who may have retired, are books about Native Americans. There's a lot of misinformation about that. So being very careful to make sure that the books that you are reading have accurate information in them.
Yes.
The T in WATER is time. How long does it take to read? We know that the attention span at the beginning of the school year of our students is much smaller than it is going to be at the end of the school. So making sure that you're choosing a book, whether it's fiction or nonfiction, we talked about this fiction last year, that is the appropriate for the attention span of your kids. Now, one of the neat things about nonfiction is oftentimes it doesn't necessarily have to be read in sequential order. So you can skip parts if the kids are getting squirmy. Or nonfiction often will have like sidebar information. So if you find that your kids just, aren't engaging, it's always okay to say, let's put this down and we'll come back to the story tomorrow. Or you could just skip that sidebar information and save it for another day. So think about the amount of time. The E in WATER is engaging. Obviously, we want, especially if we're doing a whole group read aloud, we want to make sure that we're engaging all of the kids. And I have some examples of some books that are going to be very engaging and help you tick that box on that one. And then R in our WATER acronym is rev up curiosity. So not the main purpose, but a big part of reading nonfiction to kids is getting them excited to ask more questions about a particular topic. So reading a piece of nonfiction at the beginning of the unit is great because they're going to have all these questions, and you can write down all of these questions and say, okay, as we're studying bees this week or month, what are all the questions that we have? And you can get more books and, go study a beekeeper or whatever, but revving up that curiosity and sparking that imagination. So that's our WATER acronym. W was a wide variety. A is make sure that they're accurate. T, the amount of time that it takes to read. E, engaging. And R, rev up the curiosity.